There is nothing more wonderful than a wedding, except a royal wedding. The pomp and ceremony, the dresses, the guests, the drama. I love it all. But let's be honest, there was one huge problem that we couldn't avoid at Harry and Meghan's big day. Let's get to the crunch. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to discuss this with the utmost respect to the brides, of course. The royal weddings of the past few decades have not disappointed. The joy that we derive from watching two people who are madly in love finally tie the knot is blissful. We are transfixed by the glamour and the pageantry, and the whole of London spends the day rejoicing in the streets as the splendour unfolds. When the Prince and Princess of Wales married, there was, of course, a lot of talk about the dresses. They were practically perfect. And I'm not only talking about Catherine, Princess of Wales. There was also a lot being said about her sister Pippa Middleton's dress too, particularly the derriere. Both women looked spectacular, and I believe that the Princess of Wales' choice to place her sister in white is a hint at her humility. The dress she chose for her sister was glorious. She clearly was not afraid to be outdone and was humbly thinking about her entourage and the bigger picture. Yet even with her kindly selected bridesmaids' dresses, she still managed to create a historically unforgettable image in our minds when she appeared in the show-stopping dress by British designer Sarah Burton from the Alexander McQueen house. The dress allegedly was worth a whopping £250,000, but these allegations were denied by the royal family, so we don't actually know. The Princess of Wales dress gave a subtle nod to the dresses worn by Princess Margaret on her wedding day and to the late Queen Elizabeth's wedding dress also. The silhouette and neckline is practically identical to that of Princess Margaret's dress designed by Norman Hartnell, but Catherine, Princess of Wales's dress incorporated a more embellished bodice similar to that of Queen Elizabeth's wedding dress, only using a delicate lace rather than pearl to create the effect. We could go on and on and on here, but let's get to where it all went wrong for Meghan. First, it must be said that the idea behind Meghan's dress is divine, but it was 2018. Why were so many errors made? I can think of one big reason. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Meghan chose a silk A-line dress from the house of Givenchy that had a 3/4 length sleeve and off-the-shoulder neckline. Sounds lovely, so much potential. She donned a hand-embroidered silk veil which represented flowers from all of the Commonwealth countries. Again, this is a perfectly subtle nod to the Commonwealth and everything the monarchy represents. Her tiara was one of Queen Mary's, and in my opinion the tiara was perfect, faultless. It looked spectacular. The tiara was not the problem. Where did it all go wrong? Many watching on the day put the problem down to the fit. We know Meghan likes things a little larger than average, maybe to match her ego, but Twitter was alight with comments such as, "Plain and simple is fine, but it didn't fit," whilst others claimed that she must have missed out on her last dress-fitting appointment. Credit where credit is due. From some angles, with certain lighting, you can't tell how oversized it is, but unfortunately, most of the time it's glaringly obvious. The creases run down the entire sleeve, around the garden area, and manifest like the desert dunes all down the bodice. Maybe she just wanted to leave a little extra room so she could really chow down at the wedding banquet. I get it, I'm a huge food lover myself, but even I would make an exception on this particular day. Then let's talk about the wide boat neck. Or is it supposed to be off the shoulder? Herein lies the problem. It is neither one nor the other. It is cut on the apex of the shoulder. I assume she wanted it to be off the shoulder, but royal protocol would not allow it. So Meghan's first attempt to rebel against the royal traditions has left us with a very awkward cut that's neither sexy nor chic, and really just accentuates the chest span with a slight lift in the fabric under the chin. When you look closely, you can see that the material doesn't even sit close to her skin. It's almost peeling away, which is probably why we rarely see this style, which is fast becoming a Meghan Markle signature. Let's dub it the baggy boat neckline. Together with the A-line shape, we get a square bodice illusion with a heavy underarm. These are not real fashion terms. Why? Because they are awful. If we compare her dress to Princess Mary or Queen Margaret of Denmark, both ladies use a similar boat neck line, but their cuts work. To top off this £135,000 Givenchy disaster, there was allegedly tension between the late Queen Elizabeth and Meghan regarding her choice of colour. Meghan wanted white, and as we know, Meghan always gets what she wants. But the Queen did politely try to encourage her to respect the tradition of selecting a different shade, as it was her second marriage, just like Camilla had done. But who cares what Granny thinks, right, Meghan? I don't know about you, but if the Queen asked me to respect tradition, I probably would. Actually, even if my regular non-Queen grandmother asked me to kindly respect a long-standing tradition, I would. But where Markle goes, respect and tradition woes. It says it all when we heard that soon after Meghan's wedding, the artistic director at Givenchy, Claire Waite-Keller, left the house, and we have heard little from her since. Rumours surfaced from the house of Givenchy that Meghan was very difficult to work with. The dress itself took almost 4,000 hours to make, with 50 people working non-stop. Wow, that is an impressive amount of manpower to spend on such a disaster. Meghan spoke about working with Givenchy on the dress, stating, "I had a very clear vision of what I wanted for the day and what I wanted the dress to look like." So what was amazing in working with Claire is that sometimes you'll find designers try to push you in a different direction. But she just completely respected what I wanted to see for the day, and she wanted to bring that to life for me. Well, that explains it. It was 100% Meghan's vision, with no input from the designers. There is a reason why designers try to push you in a certain direction. It's because they have thousands of hours of expertise. They know what they're talking about, and it's their job. To end on a high, I actually do like Meghan's reception dress by Stella McCartney much more than her wedding square, although it is more of a red carpet gown than a wedding gown. Let's get to the comments. Mariana says Catherine's parents paid for her dress. Charles paid for Meghan's. It doesn't surprise me that they are quite a humble family. What Catherine, Princess of Wales, did surrounding her wedding, even for the engagement pictures, the dresses she wore were high street dresses that were actually affordable prices. So normal people could go out and buy the same dress from high street stores. She did an enormous amount for the British fashion industry. Whereas Meghan, I think Meghan's engagement photo dress was something like over £70,000, which is crazy. It's a crazy amount of money for an engagement photo dress, and she's never worn it again. That's something we see with the Princess of Wales. She often re-wears her outfits. I've rarely seen that with Meghan, if ever. Sassy Grammy says, regardless of what she wears or how much it costs, her clothes always look like they were made by a first-year home ec student. You're right, they do. I don't know how she manages to do it. It's like a skill that has never before been seen from someone who has so much money. I really think it comes down to being able to listen to the professionals, and it is clear from Meghan's statement about working with the House of Givenchy, she doesn't listen. She has her vision, and they are there to do what she wants. There's absolutely no point her working with big designers. She could go to a small seamstress and have them do exactly what she wants, because the designers have zero input in what they are producing for her. It's the Meghan fashion house, and that's why we're getting disaster after disaster after disaster. Denise Becker says, evil smile / smirk upon exiting the church, always finds the camera. Jodi Arias comes to mind. Quite a scary individual. If you don't know who Jodi Arias is, I think she's currently in prison for allegedly, because she denies it, murdering her boyfriend in the shower. She's absolutely bat crazy, this woman, and the comparison between her and Meghan is very much understandable. I can see it now that you've mentioned it, so now I can't unsee that. And my favorite comment is from Noella. It looks like a white sheet wrapped around her. That perfectly sums it up. Basically, it is. What could the designers do? That's what Meghan's vision was. She wanted to look like she just got out of bed and wrapped a sheet around her, and thus she did. I wouldn't dare to voice my opinions to Meghan if I was a designer. I think they're quite smart in keeping quiet. There is a wise saying in which you should try to lose arguments intentionally to preserve your mental health. I can imagine that most people around Meghan are practicing that on a regular basis. Otherwise, they'd all be going crazy. Give this video a like if you were not the biggest fan of Meghan's wedding dress, and subscribe to help the Crown family blossom. See you down in the comments.